Big news out of the Middle East today. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire, hostages are set to come home, and aid is finally poised to move into Gaza. Here's what actually changed, and what comes next. First, the deal. In Phase 1, Israel pulls troops back to an agreed line inside Gaza, and Hamas releases the remaining hostages. The Israeli cabinet has approved the framework, triggering a 24-hour countdown to the ceasefire's start. After that clock runs out, Hamas has 72 hours to release the living hostages. Numbers matter here. About 20 Israeli hostages are expected to be freed in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. That includes 250 serving life sentences, plus roughly 1,700 people detained in Gaza since October 2023, with all women and children among them to be released. On the ground, the ceasefire is already in effect as of noon, local time Friday. The IDF says troops have repositioned along updated lines inside Gaza in preparation for the agreement and the return of hostages. Displaced Palestinians are beginning to move back toward shattered neighborhoods. Aid is the other immediate piece. The UN says hundreds of trucks could roll as early as Monday, with about 170,000 metric tons staged and ready, medicine, food, and essential supplies ready. But turning a paper deal into actual relief inside a devastated Gaza will be harder than opening a gate. Politically, this is volatile. In Israel, far-right Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir says he'll vote against Phase 1, and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich likewise opposes the deal, both threatening to bring down the government if Hamas isn't dismantled. That's a real risk to the coalition. In Washington and Jerusalem, the spotlight is on President Trump's role. He announced the breakthrough, calling it the first step toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Israel's Knesset speaker invited him to address parliament, praising his leadership as the peace president. But implementation is the hard part. The deal aspires to demilitarize Gaza under independent monitors, yet details are thin. Israeli defense officials estimate Hamas's tunnel network runs 350 to 400 miles. Dismantling that and verifying disarmament and sequencing withdrawals beyond the initial line remain open questions. Watch next, the 72-hour hostage release window. Whether aid really moves at scale, coalition politics in Israel, and clarity on monitors and further withdrawals. 2 years after October 7th, with Gaza in ruins and more than 67,000 Palestinians reported killed, this ceasefire is a turning point, not an endpoint. If hostages come home and aid reaches people, a fragile pause could become something more durable. I'll keep tracking what's real, what's rumor, and what actually shifts on the ground.